So this is like the sign-in page, kind of like Slack, right? Each workspace has its own sort of workspace domain. So go create workspace at the top or create one for free. Any of those buttons should work. And then there, landing page, you put this in, put in your password, onboarding form.
Invite your team. Oh, that's kind of cool. So we have paralegal, staff. Okay. And then each one of these will just add another line if I add somebody, I assume?
Yeah, so you can just skip that.
Client name.
You can skip that too anyways. Well, he can add it, sure.
I'm going to do Kenza.
Okay.
Zhao. Let's see.
Okay. And then your dashboard. So
cool. Okay. And so we have basically all of our cases, clients, contacts. My first thought, just like immediately, I'm just going to kind of talk through what I'm thinking here as I'm kind of going through it. Contacts, right? This would be type area where I see new contact. Do we have a way to upload contacts en masse? Yeah. Especially for like anybody who is transitioning, right, from Clio or any other platform, this would be a thing. And then secondarily, knowing from a lot of lawyers I've worked with, the amount of lawyers that basically utilize their phone as like a CRM, everything is huge. So like an immediate thought I would have here as well is like, if you can sync contacts from Google or Apple contacts into here, that would do amazing for, I think, a lot of different law firms. Okay, so we do have the import CSV and export for the client thing. That's good. Talk to me a little bit about the leads. How does this work?
So right now, it's just a tracking feature of module, right? You're manually adding. In the future, we can hook up to any CRMs. My thought process right now is obviously, or MVP or beta launching, whatever you want to call it. I want to do a hands-on onboarding with clients completely for free, right? Our first few clients, hey, look, what platform are you on? Are you on Clio? Are you on something else? What do those platforms offer in terms of data export? When we know those formats, we can slowly start integrating each of those platforms natively into our app. So on the onboarding form, it can ask, like, hey, what platform you're currently on? It will know what the capabilities of those platforms and the exports, and then we can natively build those pipelines during the onboarding so everything gets populated. I'm taking a very hands-on approach for every new client right now, and we build those integrations as we go. And I don't think we can pre-build integrations. It has to be customized. So in terms of importing contacts, exactly what you said. Is the client on iPhone? Are they on Google? Do they already have contacts synced on their account? And just really doing the one-to-one support. Very tailored approach for the first few clients.
I do like the task management. I'm kind of curious on the calendar, adding events in and whatnot, especially for like court dates. I'm wondering if we could potentially sync direct into court systems at some point in time, just to pull in essentially any new court dates or any new court documents that come through, which I think would be a nice use case.
So right now there is a Workspace integration. So you being the admin, if you go into settings, you can set up the settings for your email platform, and it will sync. It will sync all the staff members, their emails, and it will capture and scan for any client emails. Like if you have a client and the client is john@x.com, any emails with john@x.com will show up in the logs, for the communication log, and you can automatically track time on those logs and it'll just show there.
We have the email sync, so it actually come through all of the different message platforms as well.
Exactly. So SMS, same thing, right? We can figure out all that stuff. If the law firm uses any of the modern sort of web phone systems like RingCentral,
Just Call,
yeah, Twilio, those things, we can integrate as well.
Interesting. We have Stripe Connect here, online payment processing as well, which is interesting. Need to fix the formatting here.
Yeah, I know that part. So the payments, every workspace has their own integration with their payment processing. Right now, it's only Stripe. So again, when we're onboarding clients, I think whatever is not available, our advantage is that we're such a lean, fast team. We'll do full tech support completely free of charge, and we'll help them implement. We're not going to charge them extra to implement whatever tools they need, because we need the clients right now to help us build out features.
Yeah, and well, I mean, looking at this immediately, just the fact that we already have our entire SOP make this super simple for any team to just get on board. I think this makes it exceptionally versatile. Interesting. And then reporting wise, okay, so we have revenue. So we're looking at this somewhat almost like a full firm, so we can work from anything from a single lawyer all the way up to somebody who has a full firm of different lawyers under them and paralegals.
Absolutely. Yes. Go check out the template library as well. So the template library It's available completely free of charge. You can add templates here. I don't know if any firms will realistically use this, but for someone starting out, say like you just got your license, or you're starting your own practice, right? This would come in handy. For a firm that's been in operations that's mature, it's less likely they're going to use this, and they're going to use their own. But there's previews, there's checklists on the bottom. Once you install, it adds it to your firm's template library. So if you click on settings, the admin panel for us as a SaaS owner, on the admin side, we can edit those templates and modify and update, over time. And then you go to templates up there. You'll see that once you install templates, you get it here. So you can go like new template. You can create a new one with all like the fields that would whatever. So I think this can be enhanced, but we'll only know that when we start working with the lawyers, right? Working with the firms to see what their needs are. Right now, it's really just modeled after the competition, modeled after what we know. And obviously, we're not lawyers. We don't do law. So there's a lot we don't know yet still.
I think we'll know that very quickly, like what's missing in just looking at the aspect of like what types of issues there are. I mean, immediately my thought is looking at this, right, is that it gives both a really high level overview for the actual lawyer themselves, anyone who's actually running a law firm, but also like back end admin. This feels like it takes what would take multiple people for like a multi-person legal firm and paralegals into, hey, one person could probably manage multiple different lawyers at the same time as paralegal and admin.
Permission controls as well, right? Different views for different role types. All the invoicing stuff should be pretty smart. When there's time tracking or expenses attached to a certain client, when you generate an invoice, it will automatically pull what's not billed already. And then you have the option to not include certain things.
You want to know what I just thought about? And I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. My niece is currently in law school and has worked at 2 different law firms. I might send this to her and be like, hey, look at this and tell me what you think.
Give her I gave you the demo workspace, right? The Hamilton workspace. So if you sign out now, you can see some real data. So sign out. This is like obviously the new workspace we just onboarded. Yep. So you click on Noah and sign out, log in. What happens? I don't know the workflow actually. Yeah, go Hamilton. Yeah, Hamilton workspace. And then J Hamel. Remember this one? Boom. I love that everything works. So I'm using Railside for deployment, and it's honestly it wasn't easy to get everything up, but now that it's up and running, it's so good. It's so lightweight. It makes total sense.
Interesting.
Okay, so I'm missing some data here for some reason.
It looks like no case data or anything like that. I'm wondering from a dashboard perspective, it almost looks like maybe it cached.
Yeah, so yeah, that's interesting because it's not supposed to look like this. So obviously there's some gaps right now. If you log out and log in.
I'm guessing what ended up happening here is that it cached my prior workspace is what it looks like.
Yep.
But then also anything that's like new is in here.
That's definitely it. Yeah. So the calendar integrations and stuff like that. There are for each client, you can set conditions and rules based on the case type and the matter type. I think there are standard practice rules in terms of how many days you have to do certain things, like filing a position document or whatever it is, right? There are these steps baked into the cases. So then it reminds you, and there's like checklist items and stuff like that.
Just a quick thing, that's exactly what it was, is that up in the URL, you can't see, but up in the URL, I had still a string code and whatnot, and then when I refreshed, everything came through.
Okay.
So that might be what it is.
Yeah, so I got to fix that.
Which, to be fair, most people aren't going to be switching between multiple spaces, but still good to see. Interesting. Okay, so we even have do we have overdue reminders on invoices?
We can set those notifications in the settings for invoicing.
Interesting. Request retainer replenishment. Oh, okay. And we can record it manually as well, because I know it's a big thing within legal. I like this. Oh, okay. We have our branding within here as well. Late fees. Percentage, reminder, 7 days before, 3 days. Okay, I like this. Cool.
This is a $500,000 software. And traditional development wise, probably 6 months to a year, $500,000.
Again, I think this comes into use case, right? And like how people from like an AI perspective don't understand true versatility, right? Like there's still obviously missing caveats. It's the age old thing, right? It's 80% complete in a fraction of the time, which is why I feel like a lot of people tend to not understand with AI. It's like, it's not supposed to give you the finished project, right? It's supposed to give you 80% of it, and the time that would normally take weeks in hours.
I think the best way to describe it is when you prompt AI and you ask for something, depending on how detailed your prompt is and the context, it will only think about sort of A to D perhaps, or A to F. But for a finished product like that, when it gets to F, you got to figure out what's F to Z. And that's the part where it's like not everyone can do. I think that's really the key, right? Because I thought it was ready. I told Steven, hey, look, I probably have this ready by like end of day, right? And then I'm like, okay, wait, shit. Now that I'm actually QAing it, It did the QA, it said everything passed, but as I'm walking through it, this workflow makes no sense, right? The way you have time tracking mapped out in the invoicing, there are overlaps and redundancies, like it doesn't make sense. No one would use it like this. So I think that's the operator part, right? Being a business operator versus like the guy who just graduated from school can't vibe code and build a product like this.
One of the big things when we're like looking at AI, where it's like everyone talks about like 2028 is supposed to be like the AI apocalypse or whatever for like the modern day blue collar worker or white collar worker, I guess, not blue collar. And the big issue that I consistently see with it is this aspect of like, yes, will a lot of like basic admin business savvy and like knowledge be at the wayside? Yeah, but like there's still going to necessarily in some cases be, I think, creativity more than anything and just like understanding, because it's the age old thing of like you can have the best idea for like a business, a product in the world, but if you put it out in a way that nobody likes using it, it doesn't matter. It can solve the world's biggest problem, but if nobody likes to use it, it doesn't matter. AI itself, I think, has been that way, and that's why ChatGPT popped off in like the general consumer, because up until ChatGPT and like LLMs became popular, the general people didn't like using AI because AI was a very technological, like heavy uplift to use before that.